Oh, good morning, everybody. The agony of victory. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. And listen, they won a game, okay? And I don't want to lose sight of that they won the game. And there were many games last year where you go, well, they probably shouldn't have won this game. They skated by. They won the game. And that's what happened yesterday. They outlasted a bad football team because they made plays that the bad football team was incapable of making. But between that, there's so much to decipher and talk about what their decisions were yesterday. So let's just go over the good, because the game savers were as follows. Sidney Brown hit on the kickoff. They get the ball. They score out of that. Devontae Smith's amazing catch for the touchdown. Saquon Barkley going crazy again. And I got to be honest with you, in my life, it was the most athletic move that I've ever seen on a football field. Now, you can go to basketball and see all these amazing highlights in the game of basketball. I have never seen an athlete capable of spinning, being in a position where his body is backwards, leaping as your body is in backwards and going forward to hurdle a guy. I've never seen it in my life. It's the most athletic, amazing play I've ever seen. And then, of course, the Dean interception, which seals the game. Now, the weird stuff probably overshadows the good stuff, the game-saving stuff. Because for the life of me, I don't understand how a head coach can think that at 16-0, 17-0 is not the better risk reward than trying to go for it for a 2-point conversion. 17 points makes it a 3-score game. What does 18 do for you? Like, what are you thinking that you get to 18 and somehow that's going to benefit you more than getting to 17? I just don't understand what the thinking is there. I don't understand going for it 4th and 3 at the Jacksonville 22 and not kicking a field goal. I don't understand like the fake push and throwing it out of that formation. There's so many things that I just don't understand about this game, and yet I'm overpowered by the fact that it was a win. So I can only complain so much about what happened in that game yesterday. Other than that, if that was a better team, they would have lost the game. And they probably should have lost it anyway, because the quarterback made a bonehead throw and threw it too high to a running back who's not a receiver, who's not capable of going up to fight for a ball and getting airborne and snatch that. So listen, this is up to the fans today to actually decipher what that game was and get inside it, sort it out, and let us know. For the time being, we'll go to Bill Colarulo, who I call around here Mr. Football. Mr. Football, what did you think about this?
You're right, Mike. It's a weird feeling today because there is a lot of good to take from it. This Philadelphia Eagles are 6-2.
Much good.
They've won 4 games in a row. And the way that game started, you're feeling great. The defense was absolutely dominant to start that game. It took until about 9 minutes in the third quarter for the Jags to have more yards than Saquon Barkley had individually. They had about 30-something yards with 9 minutes left in the third quarter, and you're seeing great play from the Kobe Dean. Zach Bond looks like an absolute stud at linebacker. This guy could be a Pro Bowler at linebacker, and he's never played the position before. Jalen Hurts, another game with no turnovers. He had close to 300 total yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. That's now 4 games in a row without a turnover. No coincidence, 4 wins in a row. Saquon Barkley is the greatest running back I've ever seen. That's not an exaggeration. He is the greatest running back I have ever seen, and it was fitting that he did all of that on LaShawn McCoy's day, because McCoy may have been the best running back I've seen in an Eagles uniform. Saquon has topped that, and it's not even close. That's all the good. Now, I've been on this station. I've defended Nick Sirianni. I was in support of him coming back. I talked about all he does is win. He now gets his 40th win in the regular season, the fastest coach to ever do it. And yet I'm sitting here saying, have I been wrong about this guy? Is this guy an idiot? Because you look at the 6 decisions he made. There were 6 decisions that you can question, and 3 of them that you highlighted in your opening are inexcusable. You can't, when you have an opportunity to make a 2-score game a 3-score game by simply kicking an extra point, you do it. When you have an opportunity on a 4th and 3 to kick a field goal and make a 1-score game a 2-score game, you do it. Especially, you have to look across the sidelines at your opponent. You're not playing Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, so the need to be aggressive constantly because, we got to outscore these guys. It didn't exist when you're going up against the Jags and Trevor Lawrence. There was no intellect in Nick Sirianni's decisions. So now I sit here and people in the chat are already asking, he better not sing Sirianni Love. No, we will not be singing Sirianni Love today because this is another win that the Eagles had where they won in spite of their coach, very similar to the New Orleans Saints game.
Oof. Bill going off on Siri.
It's hard not to today, Mike. I mean, really, it's hard. Watching that game yesterday was one of the most frustrating things in the world to see it. And some of these decisions, why? Why is he out-thinking himself? And then after the game, he's asked about it.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
And it's not, I got to have balls.
Yeah, he talked about balls.
That's not what it's about.
No, it's not. It's about coaching the game to the highest level. I just can't get past the 16-0. Go for it. Listen, I know you get enticed because you get closer to the goal line, but what's the risk reward doesn't work out in you. Like, what's the point of getting to 18 when 17 is perfectly fine? Those are the things. And here's where they're now starting to overthink it. They're faking tush pushes. Now, listen to me. The push is an 88% success rate play. All right? If somebody stops it once, that doesn't mean they're going to stop it again. All of a sudden now they're going, there's teams are stopping. They're not stopping it. Maybe they stop it once. Go back to it. Why are you trying to outsmart yourself by throwing out of that tush-push formation? And I just don't understand it. Like, they can't stop that play. 12% of the time they stop it. That's the what is the percentage for throwing out of that? Like, if you've got a number and you're so into analytics, 88's a pretty good number, right? The number for the other play wouldn't be nearly as high as 88. So what are you doing here with this analytics?
And even if the tush push is 88% successful, which I'm not sure it's going to be anymore. It looks like the tush push may be broken.
I don't think so. Well, I just don't think it's really unstoppable. So a team's got lucky to stop it once.
Well, you don't have Goddard, who's usually pushing Jalen from behind. You clearly don't have Kelsey anymore at center. But, okay, even if you're right, 88%, you look at that point in the game. 4th and short, 25-yard line. 22-16 game, there's only a minute 25 in the third quarter. You know what the Jags offense is. You kick a field goal, it's over. You turn it into a 2-score game. The risk reward isn't there because even if you get the first down and you go on to score a touchdown and you put up 7 points, it's a 29-16 game. It's still a 2-score game. So the risk reward going from making it 9 points to making it what? What would have been if they scored a touchdown?
You're talking about when it was 22-16?
Sorry. If you score a touchdown at 22-16, it's a 9-point game. If you kick a field goal, no, I'm getting all my math.
Yeah, the possession.
What am I getting wrong here?
22.
13 points. Yeah, 9 points to 13 points is what I mean. So either it's a 9-point game with a field goal, which is a 2-score game,
right,
or it's a 13-point game, which is a 2-score game.
And a 4th and 1 at the Jacksonville 25, he went for it again when a field goal would have put him up by 9. When the score would have made the score 25-16.
Exactly. So, but even if you are successful in the conversion on 4th down and you score a touchdown, it's still a 2-score game. Yeah. So why take the risk?
It doesn't make any sense, and it's a coach who's not thinking clearly, who's not that savvy in his thinking. Like and he's got 100 people that are advising him. Like I just don't understand it. Now let me just say one thing about Saquon, because as great as he is, he has made some boneheaded plays this year. It's really weird. He doesn't catch the ball against Atlanta. He fumbles in that game. And we'll talk about that because I thought it was a good call from the jump. And I know a lot of people don't. The way I saw it originally is that, he was hit by the defender on the ankle, but he held his position. Like, that didn't make him go down. What made him go down was that he bumped into his own player's leg, and that's when he fell. and fumbled it.
However, let's play it out a different scenario. Saquon doesn't fumble. He gets up, and he runs in for a touchdown, and they go back and review it. There is no way that play gets upheld. They would have ruled him down by contact.
I have no idea what they would have ruled. What I know is that was a fumble. In my interpretation, when I looked at the play, I said that was his own player that made him go down, not the guy who contacted him, the opponent who contacted him. But the fact that he cut off the run late in the game was puzzling to me. Like, he's smarter player than that. He wasn't close enough to going out of bounds where he could have gone a couple of more yards before he went down. And in that kind of situation, he sets up a 3rd and 4 when it should have been a 3rd and 1.
And then they don't get it.
They don't get it. They say, then they run up the middle. They stop them. So now it's 4th and 4, which means you got to attempt a 57-yarder. Now, I would have attempted the 57-yarder. So I put the blame on Saquon there for not getting closer to the first down. I trust Elliott to kick a 57-yarder. Hey, he just hit the post.
See, I didn't like that call.
Oh, I did.
I think Sirianni, you punt, you pin him deep, you make them have to go 90-something yards.
If I didn't have a kicker who could make a 57-yarder, I might say the same thing. But he just hit it offline, and you can't blame the decision there. But we'll go over all of this because I want to hear what the people have to say about it. And we'll play the Sirianni's "You Got to Have Balls" comment because I think it's I love hearing him talk macho. It makes me moist. 610-632-0975 is how you get in to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.